So what exactly do you have to do in order to make 25K a month with just 19 years old? What are the sacrifices you have to make, and how does it actually feel to hit those kind of numbers? Those are the questions that I asked myself when I started doing all those things, and in this video I'm going to answer them. For those people that don't know me, my name is Finn. I'm 19 years old. I just moved to Dubai 4 months ago, and yes, I know the situation in Dubai is crazy right now, but trust me, it's like going good, no worries. And I run a content agency for coaches, and last month we finally hit 25K per month, and everybody asked me, how does it feel? What did you went through? And in this video, I'm just gonna completely open about that, all right? Especially if you already have made those numbers. I think this video is super important to watch because I'm about to share the next steps that I'm doing. I'm being mentored by someone who is doing consistent 200K in months. And I know a lot of people that already are at those numbers feel super lonely and have went through the stage that are like this, the sacrifices and the stages that I am and that I went through. Yeah, maybe, hopefully you can relate to this. If you haven't hit 25K a month, you can still watch this, but it's more about, like my plan, what I have sacrificed, and yeah, you can relate to it. So everything starts basically at, let me think, 2024, all right? I'm together with my girlfriend for over 1.5 years. Yes, it is one of those kind of stories. And in June or July, I found out she betrayed me. She cheated on me, all right? And at that point, I was 17 years old and my world crumbled, all right? I focused my entire time, my entire youth to finding the right woman. I thought I did, like as everyone did in that age. And I basically had nothing in my life except her. And it was like a shattering moment hearing that. Yeah, I couldn't realize it, all right? It was like crazy for me that time. But, and this is like probably the stupidest thing I ever did in my life, I stayed with her, all right? I stayed with her for, I think, another 6 months. Then we broke up because, like, once something like this happens, you basically can't be with that person anymore. And this was the point where, like for the first time ever, I spent weekends completely on my own. Usually I was distracted in that kind of way, depending on how you interpret that. But this was the first week, or like one of the first weekends I ever spent alone at that age. And I really looked back and realized, okay, like I actually have nothing in my life. I have nothing built. I really gotta change that because, like I was 17 years old, I had 1.5 years left in school, and the last thing, the last thing I wanted to do is go to uni. And so I had to make it work within this span of time. And so what did I do first? I started an e-commerce business. That's also the reason why I'm working right now with so many e-commerce guys, because I come from that space. But I was selling, blue light glasses, and as sometimes in life, you really get lucky. I really got lucky, especially for my age, especially for the experience and skills that I brought, because I had none. I was just selling them on Etsy, and I started selling them in the same summer. We went to holiday with my family, and my phone was like ringing. And all people in e-commerce know this feeling, like the first notifications and the sound, especially when you have your phone on flight mode and you wake up and those notifications start to spam. It's like the craziest, like you'll never ever have that such of dopamine as the days where you started doing e-com and you had success. And so I was really happy. I made like $500 a day. I profited probably 300. I had super high margins. I was selling them for $65 a day, even covered the shipping, and I bought them for $4 to $5. So it's like really great, as you can imagine. Then everything, basically everything got shut down. Everything got taken down. I was too young. My stupid ass forgot to I didn't find a way to fix that, and so I had to work in a 9 to 5. Was doing fundraising on the streets where funded money for help organizations. Did that for a few months. It was the worst thing I ever did. I was working very long hours, especially because I did my my exams. And I was really frustrated, and I needed to find a way, because now it's been like only 12 months or even less left until I would finish school. And again, I didn't really want to go to college, and so study. And so what I did was I started an agency. and it's a typical story. I was bowling with some friends. One of those guys was also working at the company that I did, and we made fun about the content they posted, and we were like, damn, we could do this better, bro. Like, it's with less effort that they put in, with less money, we could like easily handle that. So we did that. We approached them. I remember how much time I put into this pitch. They accepted us. I was making money, but everyone that has been running an agency or that is running one knows that there's not much money that you keep from it. All right, this was basically the way, and so. Yeah, I dropped that client, and then I started posting on my personal brand, and dude, that's where like God really tested me, all right? Everyone who has been trying to post knows that, like, you have so many people out there telling you what to do, and you see so many videos blowing up, and you try to copy them and nothing works. Everybody says it didn't work for them for a long time, but trust me, when I say this, I mean it like 10 times. Like, bro, I was posting for 8 months, and I got my first 100 followers, all right? You could tell me that I'm very stupid, which I probably was, but the main issue was that I was posting about posting content, and so I had no real experience, all right? I was posting so much, and I watched one video that kept me going, which was like, you have, like, just pay, like, from real, Smith Rees, actually a lot of people should know him, like saying, oh, you should continue, you should be delusional, and so I did that, all right? Every single day I paid an editor, like monthly, which was, I believe, $40, all right? I already valued the quality from the beginning, which was like 1.2, and I didn't got any results. I was super stressed out, the entire process, you know, like the entire thing of like scrolling through your phone, trying to find the right, basically the right thing that you want to watch or that you want to copy. Scripting and then recording, sending it to your editor. Your editor doesn't really do shit. They don't understand your vision, and you know, like, you're in a vicious cycle. You don't want to drop that because obviously you know that other people have made it and that it's supposed to be very easy. And so I kept going, and eventually one time I got a notification from a fake profile, a person who wanted me to edit her videos, which apparently turned out to be, you know, my longest, like one of my biggest case studies, and a client that I've been working now for 1 year. Not 1 year, but like 9 to 10 months. 9 to 10 months. And bro, that moment changed everything because it didn't work for such a long time. And I finally started to actually make money from my personal brand. And this was even better than the dopamine hits from the e-com because I actually sacrificed so much. You know, I could have continued e-com, I could have worked in my 9 to 5, but I just wanted this thing to last. I just wanted to build something real, all right? And here I am, and made 25K last month, and you know, the last months have been like exponentially. And that's what I want to, or like that's the message I want to give across in this video. Things like building your personal brand or posting online are the things that, you know, take them a lot of time, that give you the least return of investment in a quick time, and it's super easy to drop. And you see those people that, you know, apparently have figured it out, and the truth is there's a lot of work behind it, all right? There's a lot of work behind that, and when I learned one thing is that you really should always ask yourself, why should somebody watch my video? You know, for the first 3 months I didn't have that, so if you are already at my stage, and this is why I'm making this video, my biggest advice to you is like, start a personal brand right now. Because you have an expertise, you have a reason why people should listen to you. And dude, like, if you give people a reason to listen to you and you actually provide value, nobody can stop you, all right? If you package it the right way, if you have good lighting, I would say, good camera quality, a good mic, a good editing on short form especially, then, you know, you're blessed. And so, yeah, to come to a conclusion, it was like a lot of sacrifices. There was a lot of nights where I was super feared because the crazy thing, and this is something I don't really like to talk about because it just shows my stupidity, but in August I visited Dubai for the second time with some friends, and one of my friends was already living here and, you know, like tried to get me over the edge of moving here. So as I am, I love taking risks, but that was like such a crazy risk because I told my parents, you know, actually I don't need your apartment because, to be honest, I come from a very wealthy background. My parents gave me an apartment even though I was still in school. I said to them, you know, I don't need your apartment. I want to do it on my own. I'm moving to Dubai. Besides all the skepticism from my family and they just wanted to keep their son in the city, Beside all that, it was a really risky thing because at that point I didn't have any clue about my finances. I was making like 2K. And then one day my father comes into my room and tells me, oh, by the way, when you're moving, because actually the apartment is rented now from the next month. Which was crazy because, you know, I told them, and this meant I had to. Like, yeah, I couldn't disappoint my parents. I couldn't be saying, oh, actually I'm not in a financial position. So I moved. And bro, moving to Dubai with that less money is like probably the hardest things ever. Apparently, I'm doing good, you know, I'm able to pay my rent and everything. It was one of the hardest months ever. And there's two ways. Either you tell nobody and you just do it and then, you know, like everybody's happy, or you tell it, you make yourself a promise of that and then you have to deliver. And the pressure from outside is so huge because everybody knows you want to move to Dubai, you have to. And yes, those were the worst moments in my life. Just the entire stress and the situation I put myself in because I was really stupid. It was like really worse, but looking back, it actually was a good thing because I put myself in an uncomfortable situation that I had to get out. I had no other way, and here I am. I forced myself to make it work with my personal brand, to get case studies, to, you know, like build a setup that looks great, to buy a camera. All those things were only because I took the risk. And if you're watching this video up now, yes, you may feel super uncomfortable in front of the camera. Yes, maybe you don't even have a good camera quality, microphone quality, or whatever that is, but just post the damn video. Because, to be honest, like my English is good, I would say, but looking back, 1 year was like horrible. I was so uncomfortable and only got better because I practiced it. So yeah, to everyone out there, if you haven't made 20K a month, expect to be very lonely. Stop like trying to stop like 100 times and then getting back up because you feel like you're just meant for that. And if you're already at that benchmark, it's time to systemize. It's time to actually delegate, because right now you basically came to a point where a lot of work equaled a lot of money, but your time has reached out, man. Your time is maxed. All right, you already are working as much as you can. Now it's time to get people on the team, scale that shit, work on more things that actually have leverage. That's also like one thing why I stopped e-commerce. I'm not telling you to stop your business, but like focus on something as content creation where you have like 1 to an infinite. All right, one video could reach 8 billion people, and so the leverage you have with posting content is like insane. Yeah, this was my story. I hope some people can relate to this. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me in the DMs or in the comments. Yeah, guys, that was the entire video, and see you in the next one. Take care.